Yo, what's up, North Texas barbecue addicts? It's me, Kenneth, and in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful prime rib roast each and every time. We're going to be ready for Christmas without a doubt after this video. I've got a beautiful prime rib roast from Six Brothers Beef Company. We're going to fire the kettle up, we're going to get it seasoned up, and we're going to get to cooking. So if that sounds good to you, y'all stick around. Alright y'all, so here we have our prime rib roast from Six Brothers Beef Company. Beautiful marbling. This is a 3-bone rib roast, and we're going to get this prepped up while the charcoal's getting hot. I'm going to use a binder of garlic and basil olive oil. Now you don't have to use this if you don't want to. I'm just going to go ahead and use it. I got a little bit left in my bottle. This is a good reason to use it. So put that all over the steak right here. A lot of people don't realize this also, but all this is just a big old steak. So a lot of people get worried to cook these up during holidays and stuff. If you've cooked a cowboy cut ribeye, you've cooked these prime rib roasts. So let's go right here, get that olive oil all over it. Doesn't have to be crazy. That's good enough for me. Now what I want to do next is we're going to get this bad boy seasoned up. And we're going to be using some Tailgaters barbecue party rub as our light coat. This stuff has some really awesome flavors to it. This is going to make this rib roast just pop with flavor, guys. We're going to want to be around 275 on our kettle today. Make sure we press that in. Get all of our edges. And if you'll notice, I'm not sure if you can tell or not, this seasoning right here doesn't have a ton of pepper in it. So we're going to follow this up with some 1836 beef rub from Suckle Busters. There we go. Pat that in. That's already sweating in nicely. Man, that smells good. Like I said, we're going to hit that up with some 1836 beef rub from Suckle Busters. Both of these seasonings are from Suckle Busters. What this rub's going to do is give us that peppery flavor that I'm looking for in my prime rib. It's got a nice savory Texas style beefy flavor. So we're going to go on a little heavier here. This is going to make sure we get a nice crust on our steak. Man, this is smelling awesome. This rib roast looks insanely good. Just layered with marbling, guys. I know this is going to be packed with flavor. Alright, well, the kettle is getting heated up. That's looking good to me. Check that out. Perfectly seasoned, covered on all edges. We're going to let that set out just as long as it takes for the kettle to heat up, and we'll get it on. We'll see y'all here in a second. Alright y'all, our charcoal's going good and hot. I got about 3/4 of chimney in here. You can see through those breathing holes that we're going nice and hot. We're going to set up an indirect cooking zone here for our prime rib. Just like reverse searing any kind of steak. Just think about the reverse sear method. So that's what we're setting up right here. Just a big steak, guys. Don't get worried to cook up this prime rib. I'm going to put some wood chips in there. We're rolling with hickory today. It's going to start smelling real good. Alright, we've got our wood chips burning. We've got the indirect cooking zone set up. I want to get my prime rib on the indirect side so we can start slowly bringing this bad boy up to temperature. I want to pull this at about 118 to 120 degrees internal, and then we'll see about searing it up. So, those wood chips are going good. Let's shut that down. Open that exhaust up a little bit. I'll catch back up with y'all. We'll check on it in 25 minutes. Alright guys, it's been about 30 minutes, and this is what our prime rib roast is looking like. It's smelling really awesome. I did add about another half a handful of hickory wood chips to our kettle here, and I'm going to do the same thing right now. I want to make sure, since we are cooking this on the grill, I know the traditional way is to roast it in an oven with all the butter and herbs, but since we are cooking this on the grill, I want to make sure we get that smoke flavor in this. So I'm going to put a little bit more of this hickory wood in here, let that catch, and we're going to let that roll, I'd say, for probably about 20 more minutes. After these wood chips catch, I'll close the kettle up. I've got the exhaust wide open still, and after that 20 minutes, we'll see what the internal temperature is. Again, we're shooting for about 120 degrees internal before I just toss it right over the fire there and get it a nice little kiss of fire and flavor there. And then we're going to baste it with some butter, so y'all stick around. Alright y'all, it's been about 20 more minutes since we last checked on our prime rib roast. Look at that beautiful color we're starting to develop on the outside of our rib roast, guys. While I've got this kettle open, I'm going to add some more hickory chips to it. It is smelling awesome with that tailgaters and that 1836 and this hickory. There we go. The kettle's been rolling smoothly the whole way. So what I do want to do is rotate this just like that. There we go. Alright y'all, let's see where we're at internally on our steak here. Let's see here. We're at about 78 degrees, so that's going perfectly. I'm going to shut this down. We're going to let that go, I'd say, for about 30 minutes. And I'll check on it every 15 minutes and see where we're at and maybe rotate it. If I do rotate it, I'll bring y'all along for that. But otherwise, we're going to let that roll for 30 minutes. I'll see y'all here in a little bit. Alright y'all, so we're about 30 minutes longer. And we're still rolling strong around 300 degrees. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on here. This is the same olive oil we used as a binder. Decided this is what I'm going to use instead of butter. We're just going to let that soak in. Man, that's looking good. Let's go ahead and see where we're at. 103. Alright, we're in the 130s on the edges, which is what's normal, and then in the middle over here, about 103. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and let that go for about 15 more minutes, and we'll check on it. It might be done then, or it might take about 20 to 25 minutes for us to finish this up. But in about 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and sear this up over the fire and get it cooking. So y'all hang tight. Alright y'all, let's see what we're looking like internally. I think I'm just going to sear it up here in a second, but let's see where we're at. 114 right there. 113. So I'm going to go ahead and sear this up. And it shouldn't take a lot. I'm just going to put about probably 2 minutes on the top side over here. And then about 30 seconds on the sides. So let's go ahead and put that right over the charcoal. That's the sound you're looking for. I'm going to close this lid down and let that go so we can get a nice crust on it. And I'll check back with y'all after this is done and rested. And we'll slice into it and see how it looks. Our final product, our prime rib roast. Look at that color. You can see that garlic and basil olive oil. That 1836 and tailgaters put a beautiful color on our prime rib crust. We're going to let that rest for about 15 minutes. And then we're going to slice into it. Y'all hang tight. So this has been resting for about 10 minutes now. It smells insane. Look how juicy it is, guys. Got a beautiful crust on it. Man. Let's go ahead and cut into it and see how we did. So tender. Wow. Check that out. Gonna get me a little taste of that right off the bat. Check that out. So juicy. Let me see how we did. That's a winner. That's a winner for sure. Check that out. Man. Let's slice into this and see how we did. Got a smoke ring on it, y'all. There we go. Check that out. Look at that. Look how juicy it is. So juicy. It doesn't get much juicier or much tender than that prime rib, guys. Y'all check out Six Brothers Beef Company. We seasoned that prime rib perfectly, cooked it perfectly, and I hope yours turns out just as good as well. So flavorful, packed with smokiness from that Weber Kettle. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. Merry Christmas, everybody. Until next time, peace! Y'all keep on barbecuing.